Yo, what's up, guys? Today game vlogs here to bring you Sket Dance episode 65. Review Sket Dance began 3. Really good episode. I love this. It was great. It's fucking great. My bias for me calling it great though is kind of apparent because of the ending of the episode, mixed with some of the it was pretty much that ending. That ending just made me that ending just fucking made that episode great. Like I liked it, and then that ending was just like, son, we're done. We're fucking done. So essentially, apparently the Solitude arc is about Kitty's past in the sense that, and I'm pretty sure the manga probably goes into more depth than this. But essentially, he was kind of fucked over. He lost faith in the teachers due to an incident that happened in his middle school. So he has the same goal as Tsubaki. The only difference is that he doesn't trust anyone, and he needs to learn to trust people, which is a very familiar theme in shonen anime. I do like the way it's addressed here, and how Himeko totally relates to it. They even do flashbacks to like the older Hime stuff, and like you can totally see how they relate now. And you can even see the shipping, which I'm pretty sure somebody's going to do if they haven't already done. Kitty X. It's like if you're going to do Psy X Bossun, you're probably going to do Kitty X Himeko purely just because of this shit. Mind you, I'm pretty sure there'll probably be later episodes that push it a lot further than what it is now. But the thing I'm particularly referring to is when that teacher transferred in for the convenience of the plot, and that nigga not only like called her Orihime, but grabbed that bitch by her hair and told her to dye her hair. And I was like, whoa, motherfucker. If you were a normal person, she would have beat the shit out of you. Don't think as that teacher, you a bitch for using that teacher's shit to protect yourself, especially when she wasn't doing anything wrong. And Kitty used this as a set-off point because he was like, fuck everything. I'm going to get you for it. Even though I kind of like how they even use Tsubaki to great effect here and all that other shit. Like it just flowed well, and I do like the moral within it about how, just because, you were in a school with teachers doesn't necessarily mean the teacher's going to help you in these situations. And that's what happened, because this teacher was a dick. He was like, oh, well, if you can't deal with it, you need to switch fucking schools, because that's life, man. Which, it's a cold hard truth, but at the same time, you're a teacher. You should be able to help in some way, shape, or form, or fashion. Not just say give up on the child and be like, fuck it. You just need to get the fuck out. You suck at being a student and dealing with people and socializing. So obviously the way to help you is to get you secluded, which won't ever help your problems. And I'm like, fuck you, bitch. Fuck you, gay-ass teacher who has shitty morals and doesn't know how to fucking talk to kids. Fuck you. And I like how the actual kunai scene that we saw in the preview is actually the kunai scene in terms of thinking he would, not that he was going to commit suicide, but thinking he was going to stab the teacher, but what he ended up doing is just cutting the teacher free. I think this episode really showed Tsubaki's character and how much he's changed since we first met the character, because Tsubaki's probably had some of the most like main development in the series, compared to like the Sketdan themselves and all that other shit. And we even got to see a little bit of his backstory about why Tsubaki joined the student council in the first place. I mean, we know from his past that he was a very quiet, shy kid, but he became a lot more outgoing because of Bossun, and then, I guess everything kind of escalated to where it is now, which is kind of cool in its own right. But the part about this episode, and I'm not getting no bullshit, what my reaction was. When I first saw this scene at the end of the episode, it was 10 a.m. in the morning. No, it was 9. I did this before I went to class this morning. I jumped out of my fucking bed and was screaming, fucking right. Mind you, everyone else was out of the house because they had, my sister had to go to an appointment. My mom took her to that, and then my stepdad goes to work early, like 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning. But I screamed at the time. I was like, fucking right. Yeah, because the scene at the end where, like, that nigga threatens them even after they cut him loose and shit because of the kidnapping and whatnot. And he had the balls to threaten to, like, fuck Kaito up and to fuck Orihime up, obviously, a.k.a. Himeko. You see Bossun come out of nowhere, and this nigga's like, I was like, oh, shit. Which is, if you're at episode 75, I mean, if you watch this scene without no context, it's a cool scene in itself. But if you watch the scene within the context of the series, then you know that that's ridiculous for one obvious reason. It is already a known fact and a known joke that Bossun can't fight. And he's not strong. He's not considered a strong main character. So the fact that this nigga knocked out a teacher was ridiculous on two different levels. Mind you, I want to say that's partially shown and you don't talk about a girl that he cares about in front of him. It's kind of like if someone were to bitch slap Saya, he would have came out the side and be like, fuck you, nigga, bah. Well, mind you, Agata probably would have beat him too, because Agata would have killed somebody for that shit. Don't you touch my baby sister. That was great. But what made it even better was the ending of that part, because it's like, because the whole thing is like we're trying to avoid hitting the teacher so Kaito doesn't get expelled, and Bossun ends up socking the teacher anyway. So Kaito and Kato and Bossun get suspended for 2 weeks. Also, is Saya like this unofficial member that's just in the goddamn room now? Like I've said this before, but she's literally in the room all the time. And I think someone mentioned, I believe his name is King. And had like a number. I think it was like his birthday, probably like 1995. I'm not totally sure. I'm just guessing. But I know his name was King. Which sounds really weird to say as an actual name. Mentioned that the pocket dance stuff hasn't even been translated in like as a scanlation yet. So that's obviously not going to be the next arc. From what he mentioned, he said that apparently we're going back to Saya Bossun stuff. Which... the fact that that's readdressed as an arc, I think is more of a sick for Agata. You know what I found hilarious? Why is it when your sister's introduced and you were no longer even the main character, the mainish character you were, you become more seen in the series? Because like ever since he quit the student council and like Saya has been in the anime, Agata's shown up a lot more often and had a lot more things to do and become more of a character. That's kind of weird. He becomes a character when his little sister becomes a character. What? Actually, the next episode is going to be pretty funny because the next episode is what I thought this episode was going to be, which is, no. When Usami was first introduced, I thought the next episode after that, which is what this next episode is, where it's a whole bunch of gags with like Usami dealing with the whole I hate men thing. And there's these scenes where I see Switch and like Bossun cross-dressing, so I know that'd be pretty funny. And I think and I'm thinking is the reason why they waited, is that because Kato's like a cool guy in these episodes in that particular chapter, or did they just do that for the sake of convenience? Because I don't know, it's just me, but good episode. Bossun punch for the win. That shit was beast as fuck and funny as hell when he realized like, oh fuck, I just hit a teacher. I'm getting suspended. Fuck. Good shit. We have the Usami hilarity ensues next week. I'm looking forward to some shit. And if they are doing another Bossun Saya arc, how is this one going to be any different? I mean, the first one was just making her become a normal, kind of mellow out and become like a normal-ish character, whereas like, what's the next one going to be about? Actually her trying to flirt with Bossun and shit? Which actually be pretty funny, just because she be acting tsundere, not because it's her quirk anymore, but because she's around the guy she likes. I don't know. Maybe there will be some more like requests where like Saya actually is in like maybe are there like manga requests where the Sket Dan gets like requests and Saya is actually actively helping in the request instead of just being thrown in like filler like she had been when she was first introduced. Whatever. Good episode. Bossun punch for the win. Kitty seems a lot more fleshed out. I like the morals with the teacher and stuff, and Tsubaki I like a lot more. I like all three of those characters more. And let the KirixHimeko pairing wars begin. Anyways, vlogs again for your boy Terrell. Tell me what you thought in the comments. Tell me what you thought about this episode in the comment section below. Thank you for watching. Thank you for the support. Sket Dance was so awesome. And I'll catch you guys later. Peace.